first put it down. And it is not the right tone compared to everything else around it.
This is gonna be the postcard for May. The camera's making it look really washed out and pale. Can I lower? So this is a very different style for me when it comes to landscapes, but I felt so good about it and I still feel so good about it. So, you know, I think my patrons will all like it. It's just gonna be different, but I don't think by any means it's like a weird or like, it's not different for me in a bad way. It's different in a good way, I think. I hope. Fingers crossed. All right, so then, kind of boring, but I don't know where mine went. I got a click eraser. I really like these for pencil sketching, and I usually always have them, but I couldn't find any today. I bought one. While I was at Hobby Lobby, I also bought a tiny flat brush. It's actually called an angular shader. See if we can do this. So it's a little guy. Also boring, but handy. I bought a spray bottle. The one that I've been using, smells bad. I used it for some essential, it doesn't actually smell bad, but I used it for essential oils like once, and I cannot get that smell out, and I don't like it anymore. It's like I've literally smelled it too much. So got a new spray bottle, and then now we're getting into some fun stuff. A tempered glass palette. I've kind of wanted one of these for a while. I have a ceramic palette that I use a lot, so it felt like I shouldn't buy this because I already have the ceramic ones. But I used glass palettes back in college, and they just are so darn easy to clean. You have no idea. So, it's easy to open. Just slam it on the counter there. It's not like it's made of glass. Oh wait. So yeah, this is nothing that fancy. It's just tempered glass. But like I said, it cleans really easily, and then I've been doing better lately about using a palette knife to mix my acrylic and acrylic gouache and regular gouache paints, and mixing I think is going to be a lot easier on glass because you can actually you can scrape more of it. You don't have the little texture pores for the paint to get stuck in, so but mainly it's just these are so easy to clean, so that's nice. Then we move into the really cool stuff. I went to Michael's after Hobby Lobby. It was that kind of day. And I've been really enjoying gouache lately, and so I was really wanting to buy gouache. I knew Michael's didn't have, or I thought Michael's didn't have it, but you know, I had time to kill, so I went to Michael's. And it turns out they do have gouache. This is, I've heard of this brand, obviously, Liquitex is pretty huge, but I didn't know that they made acrylic gouache. Okay, editing, Miss Mark, jumping in here real quick. I've used these now for a few paintings over the course of April, and I also did a little bit more research about these, just kind of casual, you know, Googling. And it seems like based on like how these paints actually behave, they're not really acrylic gouache. They're more just like soft body acrylic paint. And the reason, so first of all, I found a video by Jerry's Artorama that explains this in depth. But also when I was using them, a couple things is that I noticed that they do kind of reactivate on paper with water, which acrylic gouache I don't think should. Well, they reactivated much more than my Holbein acrylic gouache. They also these paints weren't nearly as opaque as any of the gouaches that I have from Winsor Newton and Holbein and Turner. Like, definitely Liquitex was the least opaque. And then the last thing is that certain paints in this line, like several of them, have a tiny bit of gloss to them. Like they're just a bit shinier, which kind of the appeal for me with a lot of gouache lines is how matte it dries and it doesn't have any shine. And so that being said, it sounds like this is kind of more, calling it an acrylic gouache is a marketing ploy by Liquitex more than an accurate description. But I do really, really love these paints, and I went on like throughout the month to just kind of occasionally pick up additional colors, and I really, really enjoy them, and the price is good. I'm just not sure if they would technically qualify as an acrylic gouache. So just an FYI. Anyway, here's some footage of a tiny little DIY I did. I found a spice rack at Home Goods, I think, and decided that after I spray painted it white, it would be the perfect little shelf for some of the paints that I've begun collecting. Yeah, this is about the scope of my kind of DIY, is painting something. That's it. So as I was talking before, as I mentioned before, these Liquitex paints, I don't know that they would, in terms of how they function, if you would qualify them as acrylic gouache. They certainly don't function like, I have Turner's acrylic gouache and I have Holbein, and it doesn't really function like either of those. So, and a couple things that I read online suggested that this is just a marketing thing, but it's okay because these are not by any means like terrible paints or anything like that. Like Holbein or Liquitex is not selling you something worthless. I actually really, really like them, and since I initially bought those first few colors, I've purchased several more since then. So they're really, really fun, bright paints, but yeah, maybe not technically acrylic gouache. So there's that. Let's see, what else did I do this month? I did obviously some video editing. I did my vlog from March, and lately I've really been enjoying editing videos a lot. I don't know what it is exactly, but editing videos feels like creative, but it doesn't require the same creativity that drawing and painting does, so it feels refreshing. So I've been enjoying that, and then of course every month there's Patreon rewards, and last month I mailed out the was last month the pins? Yeah, last month was the pins that I mailed out. They were a little tricky to figure out how to mail them. I don't know if I'll do them again anytime soon, but I had them because Sticker Mule had a sale, so no big deal in terms of an experiment. It was a cheap experiment, kinda. So yeah, it was fun. It was also my highest number of Patreon rewards to ever send out. So that that felt very special. I think I mailed out a total of like 12? Did I mail out like a dozen rewards? I can't remember exactly how many people have rewards, but maybe it was only 8. Anyway, it was a big number for me, and yeah. So the other thing I did last month was I volunteered to help out with a competition that was happening over in Peoria, Illinois. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And I was kind of excited to go back because Peoria is close to another town, Galesburg, which has a Blick outlet warehouse store, outlet store. So they have their normal store, and then they have like a clearance warehouse thing that you can go through with stuff that's, broken or opened or expired or whatever. So, yeah. And I ended up going there twice because I had like a meeting at the beginning of the month to plan the event that I was volunteering for, and then the actual event at the end of the month. So I actually got to go to Blick twice in April. It was magical. We don't have a store like this in the town where I actually live. We have your basic Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and then one little art supply store as well, but nothing quite like the magical feeling of Blick and walking in and seeing all those colors. And then to close out this first trip to Peoria, I also went to my favorite coffee shop, 3030, got to see the bear, got my favorite coffee on the planet, and yeah, it was a lovely little day trip. A couple hours in the car with some audiobooks. Okay, and then we have my art haul. I'll just go through it really quick. I bought some Holbein acrylic gouache. We got navy blue, horizon blue, light apricot, light red bright, ash rose, and olive. And then I also got in the mail some more manga books. Arslan is the one I've been reading. Yeah, that was it for my haul, other than a Panera brownie to close out the evening. And then, of course, comic work. Yes. I feel really good about the most recent couple of episodes because, well, I can't exactly say why because I don't want it to be spoilery, but I guess you could say it's an important part in the story and I wanted to do it justice. Do justice to what was in my brain. And I do feel like these episodes are going pretty well. So, fingers crossed that when they're done, and I share them, I'll still feel that way. I primarily focused on episode 4 of season 3, and by the end of the month, I had that completely inked, so it's ready for color, and then I had already started sketching episode 5. The challenging part about this episode is it takes place by a vegetable garden, and I didn't think it would be that hard, but that vegetable garden is about the most tedious thing on the planet that you could possibly ever draw. Like, I don't even know what the vegetables are. I just kind of drew planty things, and this is so tedious, but kind of satisfying at the end, but tedious in the process. So, yeah, what else is there to say about April? I inventoried all the stickers I've been ordering for Patreon. I didn't actually know how many I had, so I took time to sit down and count them because one of my goals this year is to maybe open an online store. So I finally took inventory, and I can confirm I have a lot of stickers. It's okay, it doesn't bother me. It actually feels kind of cool. I have stickers and I have my postcards. So I counted those all out, and I found a cool set of drawers at Home Goods, and got the stickers all in there. It just feels nice to have them all in there. It makes seeing all my stuff in physical form like this makes me want to draw. So yeah. We also had a couple warm days, probably 2. Even this day wasn't that warm, but at least it was sunny, and I was able to go for a walk. There's a forest preserve half an hour from here, and I finally forced myself out there to go for a walk. It was so cold though, and windy, and I'm kind of over this frigid spring nonsense. Kind of over it, but what you gonna do? Mail! I'm super excited about this for kind of 3 reasons. 1, for the last 3 weeks, I have been sick with a cold and congested, and colds just kind of make me feel like life will never be happy again. And I'm pretty much all cured. I can feel just a teeny bit of congestion, but for the most part, I'm clear. So I'm just happy about life in general. The second thing is Patreon mail, Patreon rewards, and I got 3 new patrons this month. Shortly after I uploaded my last vlog, I got 3 new patrons, which sounds very small, but I am here to celebrate the small, little baby step victories in this life journey art adventure thing. So I'm just like already kind of on cloud 9 about Patreon, and then these arrived. And then the third reason I'm excited is the shipping said they were going to be here Friday. Today's Monday. Said they were going to be here this coming Friday, and then it changed and said, so that's the 22nd, and then it said that actually the 27th. So then it was pushed back again, and I was like, oh my gosh. So first it was 22nd, then it was the 27th, but it actually arrived on the 28th, or on the 18th. So, very excited. Slightly nervous. This is from the company Moo, which artists I know of have used, but I've never used, so I'm just like worried that I'm going to open this up and they're going to be unusable. So let's open them and find out. Oh, I already saw like an inch. Woo! Okay, we got this one. Wow. I like it. There's a fake texture on there. Let's see if I can get close, and I'll show you the next one. There's a texture that I put on there just in Procreate. I don't know if you can see it. Wow. Really nice. So, this is Prince Edric, Eleanor's older brother, from my webcomic. Next up, we have Anessa. Now this one has a white border, as you can see, and that's not the company's fault, that's mine. I did not make this image quite the right dimensions, but I didn't want to change it because I'd already done the border and stuff, so I decided to just go with the border, the white border, and center the image. I think it looks okay. May not be my most favorite creative decision ever. This one. It's definitely not in my comic-y style. It's a bit more of an impressionistic painting, but I really dig it. I really, really do. Definitely gotta get close-ups of this. Alright, so I think I showed the other items that are for Patreon in the last video, but I'm going to get them out again I can show you that they're all paired up now. You sign up in April, you get, for $3, this, and if you sign up for $5, you get this and this. These are the April Patreon rewards. And then, in May, you sign up for $3, you get this one. And then for $5, you get this and this. Ta-da. In June, I'm excited. June will be the sticker sheets. So this will be the reward for June. I kind of like having the, this is like my comic style background and then my painterly style background. Definitely want to do more of these. Alrighty, and then we have more comic making. I feel like I've said this before. I'm gonna say it again. Comic making is such an emotional roller coaster every single episode. I keep waiting for the moment to arrive when I just draw and I just feel like I'm good at it the whole time. Hasn't happened yet. There's no episode where I felt good about it the whole time. And this episode, as I was wrapping up like the penciling stage, I was just losing my confidence like crazy. And just wondering if I needed to start over, if it was, if there was anything worth saving, And then when I got to finally sit down and do the line art, like the actual inking part, the confidence came flooding back, and I was like, yes, I totally know how to do this. And then again, towards the end, I was doubting myself again. It's just something about working on it for so long. It's like your emotions get bored or something, and they decide to just jump off tall building just to see what happens. I don't know. Anyway, now that this episode is the line art part is all done, I like it again. So as always with every previous episode, I'm just gonna ride through the lack of confidence that keeps coming back, and then I'm just gonna keep making episodes. No big deal. yeah, I did some Patreon work. This is me editing photos for Patreon, so they can see some paintings that I've worked on recently. And yeah, I don't think I did any comic making this day. I took a day off and it felt really nice not to work on comic pages. Okay, and then we get on the road again. So I'm going back for the actual event where I volunteered, and I turned it into sort of a daycation type of deal. So I went to Blick again, I went to Barnes & Noble, I actually bought some books from Barnes & Noble. I haven't done that in so long. I usually buy my books from thrift books, but I splurged big time. And Barnes & Noble has grown their comic section since like I was last in there. It's pretty cool how big it is now. Of course, I had to go to my favorite coffee shop again while I was there. Get my cool latte art. It was a pretty relaxing trip. The city, Peoria, wasn't, it's not the most magical city to hang out in, but it had a couple like landmark things for me, such as being close to Blick and 3030 and Barnes & Noble, that I was like, gotta do this. Also the hospital where I was born, so gotta wave hi to my hospital room. So yeah, basically I went to the event where I was volunteering, I helped out, and after that wrapped up, I headed home. I bought this Winsor Newton designer gouache. Oop. Thank you. Focus. Focus. There we go. So I got linden green, Naples yellow, burnt sienna, and ultramarine. So I got those, and then I did want to do some painting while I was there, and I didn't want to bring one of my big palettes, so I bought, in their clearance section, some palette paper, which was on clearance for $3. So I paid $3 for this. It's kind of handy. I think I'll save it for when I travel because I like my glass palette. I usually use a glass one at home, but I don't want to carry a glass palette in my backpack. So I went to Barnes & Noble in Peoria 2 different times. The first time I bought this. It's the hardback edition of Full Metal Alchemist Volume 3. I already own most of the series. I don't plan to like replace all of it with the hardback. I wish I could. That's just too expensive. But I wanted to own one, and so I picked one out that had my favorite character on the front. This has Roy Mustang, so look at this illustration on the back. She is such a good painter. Anyway, yeah, so, and this, let's find a non-spoilery page. Here we go. And because of the higher quality pages, the glare, the ink on here looks like more black. Try and get close here. Looks really, really good. So it doesn't have that like warm gray tone. It feels like truly like black ink. So, yeah, so I'm glad that I bought this. I'm not gonna replace my whole series because I don't have that kind of money, but glad that I bought this one. I'm probably gonna just display it. Just gonna put it right here. Here, put it right here. Yes. But I went back the next day because I had some time to kill, and I was going through the manga section again, and I guess somebody returned it or something because they had volume 3 of Monster. I can't say that I necessarily recommend this particular series. It's extremely dark and twisted and violent, and I actually don't plan to reread the whole series because once was enough. I don't want to do it again, but I love the art. So I just like wanted to own a copy because I think the art is amazing. Where's that one? This panel. I just love his art style. I wanted to own a copy, but I'm not gonna spend money on the whole series because I don't need to go through that again. It's really good if you have a high tolerance for psychological thrillers and violence and just horrible things. If you don't have that high tolerance, this is not the book for you. Speaking of dark, terrible things, I also bought 2 more volumes of Attack on Titan before the fall. It seems a little bit sacrilegious to me that I'm collecting this particular series, but I do not own any of the regular Attack on Titans. I just, the story that they have in these and the art style really appeals to me, and the original Attack on Titan series doesn't appeal to me as much, so. But I am slowly collecting these, so there's that. Yeah. Alright, I'm wrapping up the vlog, like literally right over here. I'm doing the final edits, and I thought I would film a quick outro. I already said it once in the video, but I'm going to repeat it one more time for those of you who made it to the end. Patreon rewards for the month of May. If you sign up at the $1 tier, as always every month, a few times a month, you get the behind the scenes look at some sketches and some paintings. And then this month for May, this is the sticker for the $3 reward tier. We're gonna make the camera focus on it, please. There we go. So this is the reward for the $3 tier. It's a sticker of my comic character, Anessa. And then if you sign up with the $5 tier, you get both the sticker and this postcard here. So you get both of these. Look at that. So I know I already said that once, but I'm just going to repeat it one more time. And yeah, thank you to everybody who watched, especially you who made it all the way to this end. It's a long video. I know all these vlogs are long, and it means a lot when you guys watch the whole thing. And then of course a special shout out to my patrons. It's pretty awesome that you guys are signed up over there, and I hope I don't talk about Patreon too much. I don't want to like over promote it. But the fact that people sign up on Patreon kind of blows my mind. And I got 3 new patrons this month, and I'm feeling the love, I guess. I also just want to, like, you know, if you're a new artist or you're growing your following or whatever, I just, you know, I want you to know it's okay to be super excited about every teeny tiny little step made towards your goals. So 3 new patrons in 1 month is a big deal for me, and I'm gonna celebrate it. So thank you to patrons, and of course thank you to everyone who watched, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye! Enjoy the cowboy boot.